Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. This is the August 1st, 2024 meeting of the Town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board. We have an agenda this evening with one item on it, submission of an application or letter of permission. This is for, I'm going to butcher this name, Nagiri. Can you please state your last name? Nagirny. Oleg Nagirny. 936 Peekskill Hollow Road, 53-1-17, tax map, replace a damaged bridge. If you wouldn't mind coming up and stating your name and who you're here to represent. Into the microphone, please.
Oleg Nagirny,
Owner, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for coming before us this evening. We've got your application here. I'm going to hand that out. If you wouldn't mind just bringing us through what you're looking to do. I know that we have a bridge that was damaged, but if you wouldn't mind telling us what the application is for.
Is it okay if I speak?
Yes, absolutely. Are you related?
Yeah, I'm his son.
No problem.
So last July in 2023, there was a flood that destroyed the bridge. It has sunk. So we're trying to remove the old bridge now and place a new bridge in its place. And it's kind of hazardous crossing it. On top of that, it's kind of been hard to get oil deliveries, propane deliveries. And so we just want to replace it whenever possible.
Sure. Tell us a little bit about the current state of it right now. What is I know you're on, is it literally Peekskill Hollow Brook, is that right?
Yes, so it's half of the bridge is on Carmel territory, the other half is on McAlpin Valley. And what happened was some of the dirt eroded and essentially the bridge just kind of sunk down. Still there, but it's not drivable. You can walk on it, but you can't drive across anymore.
Is the bridge is any parts of the bridge currently submerged in the lake? I mean, in the stream at all?
No.
There are some pictures in the back of the file. That's good. Can you tell us when were these pictures taken that you included?
These were taken maybe last month.
Last month?
Yeah.
So this was
some of them were taken during the flood, and there is a few that were taken last month. So there's pictures from the flood and there's current pictures of it now.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay. So tell us a little bit about the new bridge that you plan on having constructed there. Do you have
Yeah, we have the plans. The engineer already drew up the plans. We dropped off a copy. I don't remember the size off my heart. I think it's 12 feet. 12 feet wide, 32 feet long.
Right, yep, we have that in here. All right, do you have the engineer that you're working with, do you have their, I'm trying to see here, structural drawings for a single span residential bridge, site plan application, TC Construction Services, Inc.?
Yes.
Doing business as Timothy Carroll, professional engineer. Where is this guy? New York. St. James, New York. Do you have a contractor that you're going to be using to install this?
We do, yeah.
Has it's been picked out already, or are you going to be doing it yourself?
It has been picked out. We've dropped off his licenses, all his stuff too. I don't know if they gave that to you guys also.
I should have passed these out too. There's some larger drawings of this as well. Apologies. And then I think there's some even larger ones. Yeah, they're the same. Okay.
He has a Putnam County license. He also dropped off.
I'm not sure I saw in the file. Did anyone find that license in the packet? Sure. I have the deed. Got no license. So we'll need a copy of the license and we can know about that. Of contractor. All right. conjure around, pour the concrete. Did you write this up?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through the sequence of construction that you have on here. Basically, the project plan from start to finish of the contractor that you're hiring. Are they doing everything? The demo, the haul
They're
away,
doing everything.
disposal, and then still installation of the new bridge?
Yeah.
And are they providing, the contractor is the one sourcing all the materials for it as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, they're gonna have, obviously there's gonna be a ton of concrete. As just a note for the board, it was a 16 by 16 foot bridge. It is now gonna be replaced with a 31 foot 11 inch by 12 foot bridge. Significant increase in size, as the applicant has indicated, in order to make sure that it doesn't fall in again under heavy rains and floods. Concrete will come pour the concrete for the bridge abutments. Heavy machine will be used. Excavators will dig holes in the abutments. Old bridge will be taken apart piece by piece by hand. Any heavy parts will be taken away by an excavator. All right, so a few more things we're gonna need, I think, for this, in terms of the construction. And just to let you know as well, our purview, what we're trying to do on this board is make sure that, in this case, Peekskill Hollow Brook is protected, because small disturbances in that brook there can cause major ramifications for your neighbors, neighbors, way downstream. We've had instances of small disruptions in upstream of wood chips ending up damming a small stream, flooding neighbors' yards 50 yards away, where then their yard becomes a swamp. So we have to be very careful about that on one hand. On the second is we're protecting water quality. This brook itself flows into our water reservoirs, so our board is charged with ensuring that, making sure that the water that goes into our drinking water supplies is protected. And lastly, erosion control, making sure that dirt isn't, as I mentioned, like washing into the brooks and our streams and the water supply, and then causing disruptions, as I mentioned. So to that effect, one of the big things that we have to make sure is when you're doing this construction, we're protecting the stream bank, and then afterwards, it's restored to the natural state that it's supposed to be in. There's a few ways that we do that. One of the ways is by installing silt fence, which you may have seen like similar things, orange construction fencing that gets put around. Silt fence is generally a wire-backed mesh fencing that gets just posted into the ground and make sure that no dirt or runoff washes into the stream while you're doing the construction. So we're gonna need that put around. Your contractor should be building this in, like to whatever plan that they have. Their erosion control part of that should be included with whatever you're negotiating with them. Second thing that we will most likely require here is, I think, so we have a site plan, if I'm not mistaken.
Is the stream
right?
currently flowing now?
Yeah.
It's a very small site plan. Oh, well, here's a bigger bridge layout plan. A couple of things I want to mention to the board too. Generally speaking, this wouldn't fall under normal maintenance because it is a substantial reconstruction of a bridge. Normal maintenance to bridges, and it's actually defined in our code about what that is. However, we also have provisions about emergency repairs, which I would, in my opinion, this is an emergency. Emergency vehicles cannot get to the house currently. At the very least, that is a cause for major concern and is an ongoing issue. In our code, under emergency situations, not even a letter of permission is required. However, this has been an ongoing issue for some time. The building is walkable, so it falls into this gray area of like, life and limb aren't right now at risk. There is a strong risk of issues happening because of this, namely emergency vehicles can't get there. However, it doesn't generally fall under letter of permission purview because it is a major reconstruction, which, I mean, clearly in our code, it says that restoring, reconstructing, or modifying existing functional structures or facilities is covered under permits, not under letters of permission. However, there's one exception, 540 square feet. If the amount of disturbance is less than 540 square feet, then you can go with a letter of permission, even though it's a reconstruction of an existing structure. The current structure, the current bridge that they are proposing to put here is 372 square feet. That's close, and that's not the full limit of disturbance. So I'm open to ideas from the board on what you think we should do here.
There's also a critical access issue, which is what you described.
Right. So I think I'm comfortable knowing that the emergency exists. This is the critical access, like you're saying. Issuing a letter of permission. I don't know if the rest of the board feels that way, but I do think that we need to do our due diligence and put proper safeguards, conditions on the letter of permission, which our code allows us to do, and actually have our wetlands inspector make sure that some of those are installed properly.
I think that's very reasonable.
Yep, me too.
All right, so then the question is, what
Well-
safeguards do we put in place? Oh, you have
And
a question?
also, will there be any other disturbance to the stream bed in that area
No.
where the bridge connects,
Well, the
either side of the stream,
The bank,
or the stream bank, yeah?
Yeah, it needs to be reconstructed, the whole thing.
underneath the bank, you're gonna insert stones to keep it stable under the bridge onto the side. So that's not major. Is there anything we can do downstream to catch any stuff that's going downstream, like some kind of net, if there's something, disturbed?
Like a turbidity curtain across it or something?
I don't know.
That might not be,
Well, it's possible, because it could flow under it.
that's fair, that's true. What would it catch? I mean, right now, some of my chief concerns are the amount of concrete being used right there
You'd attenuate the flow, though, a bit,
Yeah.
which is okay.
for a short time, yeah.
Yeah, temporarily. And it depends on, how soon can you actually get the permission to install this? It's a
Well, we're also,
replacement.
we're still waiting on permits, so once we get those permits completed, we will get to work whenever
I
we
can't
can.
hear.
I said we're still waiting on permits, so once we,
All right, I understand that. You've got, let's say you have all the permits in place, when can you start construction?
as soon as, as soon as we get, like,
As
the
soon as you
permits.
get the permits?
Yeah.
What other permits do you need? I know that you have Putt Valley that you're seeking as well, since it's, goes through the stream, the town line.
Yeah, so Putnam Valley, and then also DEC from the state, and engineer, Army Corps of Engineer too.
Army Corps?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, but it's not a navigable waterway. They're gonna deny it?
Not very.
What was that?
When, are you put into the Army Corps?
Yeah, we sent it in, we just haven't gotten a
How
response.
long ago did you do that?
A month ago, 3 weeks.
What is, Army Corps has jurisdiction there?
They might.
I didn't think that, yeah, I guess it's up to them.
Well, we have nothing to do with the Army Corps, that's up to them.
That's true. So, there are a few things that we normally ask for as well. For instance, if you're having heavy machinery, which in this case you're having a lot of heavy machinery, the heavy machinery, so there's some conditions that we're gonna put on this, on the letter of permission that we're gonna give you. One of them is that heavy machinery can't be stored, has to be stored more than 100 feet away from the stream. So overnight. So if you're parking it overnight, you have contractors there, they're bringing a bulldozer in, they're bringing a backhoe in, whatever it is. They have to move it somewhere. Can't be stored overnight next to the stream unless it is on 6 mil poly. So that's plastic sheeting. You just buy that at Home Depot. They can bring their own. They put it down, they drive over that, and great. The intention here is we're catching hydraulic leaks, we're catching gasoline leaks, anything that comes out of it doesn't go into the water, directly into the stream, and then into our water supply. So you can have heavy machinery closer. try to keep it as far away as possible, but it needs to be on poly sheeting.
And the spill kit.
Spill kit on site.
That's only if we're leaving the machinery overnight,
The
correct?
spill kit is mandatory for any heavy machinery near the water course.
Even if, while they're doing the work?
Yeah, so that is, they're doing the work, the backhoe comes in, it does a scoop, and one of the hydraulic lines busts right there and starts spraying hydraulic fluid on the ground. A spill kit is, it's a drum or a bucket full of rags, kitty litter, a shovel to clean up the spill quickly. So this way you're not hunting around for it, it's on site, ready to go. So we do require that almost on every application that has any heavy machinery overnight.
Would we be able to get a copy of everything that you require?
Yes,
Sure.
it will be on these conditions will be on the permit that you
On the
get.
permit? Okay.
Yep. Overnight parking, spill kit. What else? The license.
Describe how it's being constructed.
They're gonna dig trench like 8 foot long, 4 foot wide, and probably 6 or 8 foot deep. First of all, we need to make demolition first, and after they come in with some excavator, make trench, how I say, both sides. Put a concrete, like,
Was
foam.
it steel and concrete?
Yeah, some foam for concrete. Rebars or some
Rebar,
steel,
okay.
concrete, and after, how it say in the sketch, couple beams, and yeah.
And will the surface of the bridge be wood boards again?
Steel and concrete.
Pressure treated wood?
and
Right.
rebar.
Okay.
All right.
We'll need a clean fill certificate for anything.
Well, I don't, unless they're bringing, are you bringing in any sort of
Or
stones, rocks, boulders for the sides?
We have already like old one is gonna protect, like old one, the measurement is like 16 by 6. Now we're gonna make like bigger, longer, and that's old concrete gonna protect. We don't need to go exactly to the stream, because it's gonna be more farthest from.
So you're not gonna break up that concrete, you're gonna leave it as is?
We prefer to leave, if it's possible. Just gonna move little bit to the back after demolition, gonna move little bit to the back for protection. It's solid, big concrete. We have now like 4 foot, this big one.
Yep.
It's good protection. And as we will need it, like we have around some rocks, some stones.
So you're using what's on site already, or you're bringing in additional material?
Bring in additional.
Yeah, for the shelf on the sides
Yeah.
of the bank.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Additional material. Clean fill. The river rocks. We'll have to bring those in. All right.
they're using pressure treated wood? Do they need a designated area to?
Stop.
Or, okay.
So I was considering, we don't have a full site plan, unfortunately. I mean, this is the best we got here, but there's a good amount of space. How long is the driveway from the bridge to Peekskill Hollow Road? Is it long?
Yeah,
Yeah,
More than 100 feet?
more.
Is your property on either side, do you have, how much space on either side of the driveway is this property's?
How long they have,
Talk about neighbors.
Well, so you see this here, I'm wondering if we can say stockpile location 100 feet away without an issue.
And for cutting,
It looks like it's not gonna be an issue if we say everything's gotta be outside the buffer.
300 or 300, more, 400.
From the house to the bridge, about
100.
150, but then from the bridge to where the Holland Road
Yeah.
is, 300, maybe more.
And on either side of the driveway, how far is your property go from your property to the neighbor and then on the other side of the driveway? Is there space on either side of the driveway? Big space?
Yeah,
100 feet?
more.
More, great.
From
The reason
neighbors.
I'm asking,
No, from
Yeah.
neighbors,
No, it's
from
We have enough.
From left side, we have a lot of space,
Okay.
but to right side, to the house is around like same 150.
Okay.
To the house, but to the property is not much.
is there enough to put the materials for the bridge
Oh, yeah,
next to your driveway
yeah,
far, 100 feet away from the stream?
yes. We have 5.6 acres of land.
Perfect.
Okay, so you have on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Perfect. I was asking because what we're gonna ask is then, materials should be 100 feet away from the stream until you use it. You can use it, you bring it close, but like when you're stockpiling it, when the trucks bring it in, any beams and any, wood that you come in needs to be 100 feet away from the stream until you're ready to use it. So you just put it there. That's one. So I'm fine with not having it on the map as long as we have that as a condition. Stockpile location must be 100 feet away from the stream. Is the board okay with that?
Yep.
yeah, sounds good.
Second thing, concrete washout. You're gonna be bringing in a lot of concrete. The trucks, some of the trucks may need to do washout on the property. So if they need to do a concrete washout, it must be 100 feet away from the stream as well. And they have to, we don't have a detail, do I have a concrete washout detail? I might actually have an extra one. I know I have silt fence. Let's see, maybe they're on luck today. Yep, I got silt fence. I do not have concrete washout though. I'm putting this in your file. If you can, that's for you, you can take that, and I'm gonna put one in the file. Are you comfortable with this? This is a detail for silt fence, on what kind of silt fence we require, wire-backed silt fencing. If you wouldn't mind signing, just putting your initial on that, I'll put that in the file, you can keep this one. We're gonna need silt fencing on the riverbed, the banks, on both sides. You just put your initial and date anywhere,
Anywhere,
anywhere.
inside.
Just initial and a date. Perfect. Do you have a date on there? What's today's date? August 1st.
First.
Thank you. And you can have that one. So we'll have a, what was I gonna say, the silt fence on banks on both sides. For how far? 20 feet? 50 feet? On either side of the 30 feet, 40 feet, something like that?
At least, I would say 35 feet on either side.
35 feet on either side?
30, 35.
Either side. All right. Let's see if I have it on here. All right, so that's the second one there. So silt fence. Do we want to do anything about the downstream catching debris or anything? I don't know what we can do. There's not a lot of easy without diverting, and that's a lot more disruptive.
Well, I something that doesn't really jam up the street and back it up. You don't want that.
Right.
So you want maybe a very wide mesh to trap bigger stuff.
Like a net?
Something like that, something that could be cleaned out, depending on, we could have our engineer check while it's being constructed to see if that's an issue. It might not be much.
True.
Yeah.
We can put a condition in here that's, if warranted, if the wetlands inspector deems it necessary, depending on site condition,
Yes.
include some sort of
engineer.
debris net.
Yeah. The potential debris net or something, yeah.
Inspector deems necessary.
And all the wood, where you disposing it?
The contractor's gonna take
He's
it.
taking it out? Okay.
Debris net. Do we have a note on the plan on here? I don't believe so.
What?
So we will need a note that says what you just said. Contractor
Remove
to remove
failed wooden structure.
all debris. Okay. And then overnight parking. So the overnight parking, as I mentioned, either 100 feet away, no poly. Within 100 feet, you need to have it on plastic sheeting. Spill kit, fueling. Fueling up of any of the heavy machinery, same thing. 100 feet away, you fuel it up, comes back. Last question for the board is, what are we gonna do about the rest of the permits? Do we grant this letter of permission conditional on any other permits, or do we grant this letter of permission and just let it go?
I think from,
What was
as
that?
soon as the other permits come in, I think we could do it then.
So conditional? I mean, we can issue it conditional of that, and then they just can't get the permit until, the
Yeah.
letter of permission
That
until,
might be good for the other.
until the other ones come
the
back.
other authorities to look at it, see, a conditional permit would be good. And this might give them some reason to keep moving.
Fair enough. So I'll put a condition that they need to be either no permit or a granted permit from the, or letter of permission from the other three agencies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
conditional upon the additional permits that are necessary.
okay. All right, it's a
In other words,
doozy.
we're okay with it, you need to get the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so there's a few things that I'll have to go through. Is there an actual letter? No, I'll just use this one here. I would like to just show you a few, do you mind if I mark up this
That's fine.
form real quick? I'm gonna put in here, we expect silt fence like this. Stockpile. Fueling. Concrete. Washout. And then materials, clean fill certificate.
If they're bringing in fill. yeah.
All right, we'll make that a condition.
Especially since.
If
they're streaming.
you'll need to let your contractor know that if they are bringing in any stones, like rocks, stones, fill, dirt, anything like that onto the property, because it's within 100 feet of this thing, of the stream, they will need a certificate of clean fill, which means wherever they're getting the rocks from, it's not coming from a contaminated site. So they can get that from the contractor your contractor should be able to get that. Anything on your site, you can use to your, as much as you need, whatever we have on site. But anything you bring in, that's what you need that certificate of clean fill for. Okay.
It's especially important here because it's right at the stream bank. If it was way back in the woods somewhere, it wouldn't be as critical, nor would we have the authority.
If you wouldn't mind approaching real quick, I just want to go over this real quick with you on the small site map that you have on here. Silt fence, so on this side and on this side, on both sides of the riverbank, we're looking for that 35 feet from the bridge center, this way and this way.
Okay.
All right. Over here is where 100 feet away at least is where you have your stockpile location. That's where any materials get put. Overnight parking for any heavy machinery, unless you're going to put it on plastic. Fueling location. So if any heavy machines need to be fueled up, they got to go back over to this area. And I think that was the last one. Oh, concrete washout needs to be 100 feet away as well. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put those on the permit, on the letter of permission then, and I will go through this with the board. Let me know if I miss anything on here. Do I have a motion to grant the application, or to grant a letter of permission to 936 Peekskill Hollow Road, or for 936 Peekskill Hollow Road, Putnam Valley, to replace a damaged bridge that is currently dilapidated and in the stream with the following conditions. The license of the contractor needs to be in the file. We currently do not have that. I know you submitted it, but we do need it. The concrete washout, or any concrete washout, any overnight parking, any stockpile of materials to be done 100 feet or more away from the stream. A spill kit is required to be on site at all times near the stream. If any clean fill is to be brought into, if any fill is to be brought into the site, that a certificate of clean fill be filed with the town with this application. That silt fence extends 35 feet on either side of, on each bank and on either side of the constructed bridge. And if the wetland inspector, after observing the site, deems it necessary to include a debris net further down the stream. So if things go into the water, they get caught by the debris net. But that will be at the discretion of the wetlands inspector when he inspects the site. A note indicating that contractor will remove all debris from the site after completion. And that the three mentioned agencies, namely the town of Putnam Valley, the Department of Environmental Conservation of New York State, and the Army Corps of Engineers, that if they require permits, that those permits be included with your file. If they do not require permits, we also require an email or correspondence saying they do not. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we've granted you this evening a letter of permission to do this. It has a number of conditions that I just mentioned. I will be writing up these conditions and sending them to Rose up in the, is it planning or building department?
It's basically planning.
Planning? No.
Building.
Building? Thank
I think
you.
building.
Building, the building department, which you should have been in contact with to supply a lot of this stuff. Once I've done that, you can also ask Rose for the list of conditions that I just mentioned. You will only be able to pick this up though. The big conditional on here is those other agencies. So once you get those other agencies, the letter of permission is in effect for you to do this. Or the agencies tell you you don't need it. I believe Army Corps is probably gonna tell you they don't need to do it, but that's just my opinion. They'll let you know for sure. And want to note for the board as well, per our code, we also have to supply Putnam Valley, I believe, with a copy of everything that we just did this evening. Yeah, what's this, the letter of permission that we've done. So I'll talk with Rose about that tomorrow, on Monday. All right, that's it. So you're granted as soon as you get those other permits, or they say you don't need it, you can pick up that one, the one from Rose, and just let her know and provide any correspondence to her. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck. I'm sorry that you have such a large bridge to have to deal with and a problem and the headache of not having access to your home with a vehicle. That's a huge problem. So I wish you best of luck in getting that resolved as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
That's gonna be a doozy for me to type up for Rose. We got all the files here. Good. And for the record too, I did review the deed and it is all in order.
Okay.
All right. Do I need to actually sign one of these things? I don't believe so. Be paid, anticipated date. No, there's no signatures on it. That's fine. We have one other item, minutes this evening. All of us can vote. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of 6/20/2024?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And that concludes this evening. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Stay cool and enjoy the Fireman's Fair, if that's where you're headed. Good evening.